Well, whoever signs on tonight, they'll be like, well, okay. Brother needs to lose some weight. Which, I know it doesn't look it, but last week, I promise y'all, we lost 20 pounds. As much as we ate, I have never walked so many stairs in my life. If you've never done London, London does you. We figured that out real quick. Anyway, the story of Abraham. Okay, so Abraham, the father of faith. If you've been in and around church pretty much any length of time, you've probably heard of this fellow. There's so much about his life that could be studied. And with this particular Bible study, I don't know that we have time to go into all the details. Maybe that's a future whole series just on the life of Abraham. But there are some cool things that, and I started with the wrong picture. There are definitely some cool things that I think we need to look at. So we'll go back to our chart, and we're over here in the yellow section. So this is the descendants of Shem, and we've talked about all these crazy names. Anybody remember what Arphaxad means? Yeah. So we get on down this list here, and we get to Terah, and it says he lived 205 years. See that right there? Genesis 11. And so I have on our paper here Genesis 11, 27 through 32. So to learn the story of Abraham, we really need to study Terah a little bit. So we're going to do that. So Kelvin, let's just start over here and we'll work our way around. Genesis 11, 27.
Now these are the generations of Terah. Terah begat Abram, Nahor, and Haran begat Lot.
And Haran died before his father Terah in the land of his nativity, in the Ur of the Chaldees.
And Abraham and Nahor took them wives. The name of Abram's wife was Sarah, and the name of Nahor's wife was Milcah,
That'll work.
the daughter of Haran, the father of Milcah, and the father of Ishta.
Good names there. Good job.
But Sarah was barren. She had no child. And Terah took Abram, his son, and Lot, the son of Haran's, his son's son, and Sarah, his daughter-in-law, his son Abram's wife, and they went forth with them from Ur of the Chaldees, or whatever, to go to the land of Canaan. And they came into Haran and dwelt there.
Good job.
And the days of Terah were 205 years, and Terah died in Haran.
All right. So tonight is Bible study / history lesson / Rick goes to the museum.
Okay.
The timing of our trip could not have been more perfect as it relates to the study of this chart right here. And there were some things, like I told y'all, you know, we'll get to, kind of zoom out here a little bit. We'll get over here to Nimrod, and we'll get to all that. And it's coming. We were on Ham, the descendants of Ham, and I you know, we studied all these Gibeonites, Hittites, Jebusites. We talked about that a little bit. And I wanted to keep going, but I just kind of felt like, no, I need to wait on this section right here. Wow, am I glad I did. Because it's going to take me a while to even put all that together. That one might just happen to be 2 studies in and of itself. Because I saw some amazing stuff that relates to that. But I want to go back, though, to Abram. And we're going to talk about the whole concept of Terah, who was from Ur of Chaldees. And we're going to talk about Ur and, I think it's pronounced Haran, tonight. I want to focus on these 2 places. And I know it's kind of connected to our Bible chart, but I think it's very important, especially as we go into the Bible chart later on. Because we need to understand how these people moved around, okay? So, a little bit of a review here. It is believed The common belief is that the Garden of Eden, well, according to scripture, it was between the Euphrates and the Tigris rivers. So it was either kind of in this area, which is the core of Mesopotamia. You study history, you study Mesopotamia, it's going to say it was right there. There's another, what do you call it, a theory, if you will, that says it was down here where all these rivers kind of come together, right here in this area, 20 miles from Earth. I don't care whichever one you want to go with. I think we can all agree it was somewhere there. Okay? But there's a reason I'm bringing that up, and I'll hopefully get back around to that point in just a little bit. But you can see this, of course, the Great Sea, the Mediterranean Sea, you got Egypt over here. We've talked about how all of those types of people, how they were spread out, and Japheth and all the folks that went up this way, and Ham and all his folks that kind of went this way, and then Shem and all those folks. The Shem, who was the Semites, who their heritage was the Hebrew people, who became the Jews. Now remember we talked about all that, how they're all really the same people, it's just where you happen to start on. So, and we always think of them as being from this area right here, the land of Canaan, the promised land. But we have to understand where they originated from, okay? So, let me kind of draw this back together. We've got the Garden of Eden, first Mesopotamia. They come out of the garden, they start sinning, here comes a flood, okay? Now the big question is where is Mount Ararat? Where did the ark end up? Well, that's disputable. Some say it was up here where it says the Ararat Mountains. It was up here in this area. Some believe it was kind of over in this area where there's some mountains and stuff. Some believe it was maybe, I don't care where. Here's what we know, it was in this area, okay? And the reason I bring that up is it's so amazing how many things people want to argue about. Really, who cares? It happened. It was in this area. So we don't need to pick. Anyway, so once that ark settled, we read there where that Noah and his sons went out from the ark, and we know that they settled down here in this area right in here. In other words, they ended up back in the general area of where the Garden of Eden would have been. Somewhere in that, again, Mesopotamia. While we were in so to kind of take you back, if you weren't following us on Facebook, last Wednesday we visited the British Museum. I had told her, yeah, I'll be there a couple hours. 5.5 hours later, she drug me out of there. And I literally could have spent an entire week in that building. I didn't realize how much biblical stuff was in that building. Well, then on Thursday, we went to Paris and went to the Louvre. And somehow we got through the Louvre in an hour and a half, which I know that disgraced the Louvre by not spending. But I saw the things that I really wanted to see. So, but in doing that though, there was a little display in the Louvre that I thought was so cool. So the British Museum, it has a ton of stuff related to the Bible. There'll be a display and it'll even give you in the chapter of the Bible verse where this is talked about, all this kind of stuff. The Louvre, well, it was all in French. I couldn't read it, so I don't know what it said. But I could definitely tell there was nothing about the Bible. Like, obviously, in all the descriptions, you didn't see chapters and verses. And even in the overhead, the audio things that we had in English, it didn't say anything about the Bible, okay? But there was this one display on farming. And of course, farming and agriculture, that's what we do here, and I always wanted to go check that out. Well, it had all these cool old farm implements and handheld, the hose and the shovels and all that stuff. And it's kind of going back in time. It's modern, and it kind of works its way back. And it says that archaeologists have discovered where the cultivation of soil started. And there's this map, and they've got this shaded in area right there. And it says that there was an area within Mesopotamia that was very lush. And in